They didn't care to look good for anybody else. The only thing they needed was that next hit. I am not saying Kristen Stewart is a drug addict. I'm saying there is a similarity between I just don't care anymore at all how I look and...
Okay, kids, line up. I got the woke powder. Oh, that's good. Oh, I'm feeling woke.
Whatever is going on with Rolling Stone and trying to
My
show
hair's
that,
turning blue.
That's totally fine.
Oh,
I don't care at all.
I'm
that Rolling
50
Stone does
times
that.
more
You know
gay now. So Kristen Stewart is an actress that exists. I don't really know that much about her work except for Twilight. I know that she was in that, and it was a really weird movie, but whatever, right? She's an actress that exists, and Tim Pool appears to be upset at how ugly she's gotten. Now, I don't have an opinion on that. Frankly, I just don't care very much whether she's ugly or not. Like, it's subjective. But Tim Pool cares enough to make an entire video about it. So let's take a look at what's going on in the brain of my evil twin brother.
So Rolling Stone did a cover with Kristen Stewart. Of course, everybody knows Kristen Stewart from Twilight. So following this, there was widespread criticism of the photo shoot because Kristen Stewart used what they describe as masculine coded props, like a jock strap and a leather vest or whatever. Following the criticism, Rolling Stone published this. Right-wingers are terrified of our gay Kristen Stewart cover. We'd honestly be surprised if they could name a movie she's done since Twilight. It is hard to think of any movies that she's done, to be completely honest. But I did see American Ultra. I don't know, I think that was 10 years ago. And Snow White. And what else is she in? I don't know what else she's in, to be completely honest. And I think the funny thing about this is saying that we'd be surprised if they could name a movie she's done since Twilight.
I can't. I don't give a shit. Who cares?
Is kind of the point. Man? So there is some speculation that a move like this from Kristen Stewart doing like this shocking photo shoot is desperation. She's not a big movie star anymore. I mean, I
think she looks good, but I'm gay, so I'm biased. Fair enough.
Like Twilight was big when it was big, but you know, Robert Pattinson, that was big for him. I know he wasn't a big fan of it, but he also did Harry Potter. And Kristen Stewart, that was big for her, and she's done, like, some movies since then, I guess. I mean, come on.
But, like, who cares? I just don't care.
You can't name a movie that she's done since Twilight.
Also, this seems like really liberal bullshit, you know what I mean? Like, okay, yeah, they're doing the girl power thing. So what? So what? So what? Just let them do girl power. They earned it. You know how hard girls have had it in the past, like in the gays too. You know how hard they've had it? Just let them have their little girl power moment. Just let them have it. Who cares?
Here's what's funny about this. I would like Rolling Stone to know I am not terrified in any way of your cover. In fact, I didn't even comment on it.
Want to call it cringe? Now. Okay, they're allowed to be cringe.
And now I'm going to. I can't speak for other anti-woke social media accounts, but I'm going to start this segment off very simply before reading their criticism, and then I want to show you some examples. Kristen Stewart looks gross. I'm not trying to...
Okay, dude. What are you in 6th grade? Ew, she looks yucky. Ew. Ew, she looks yucky. Ew.
What do you mean? I don't know or care for Kristen Stewart. I don't care that she dresses how she wants to dress. And I honestly didn't care that Rolling Stone did the cover with her.
Okay.
But if you want to play this game and talk about what's going on, I'll tell you where I'm at.
Oh, man. Where is he going with this? This should be fun.
When the Gamergate stuff was happening, my attitude for all the video games that were getting
woke
was, hey, man, more power to you. You make your video game. That's great. I won't buy it. Rolling Stone runs the cover of a greasy-looking, disheveled individual who looks like they have become a drug addict.
What? What? Like, okay, her bangs are a little messy. I agree with that, but, like, who cares? Who gives a who cares? Like, why do you care about this? Why is this newsworthy? This is not newsworthy, man. Come on. People are dying and shit. Cover some real shit.
And that was a little bit harsh.
Go back to the border. At least that's real news, you know? Like, okay, talk about the border. At least it's real news. People care about it. You know, nobody gives a shit about this. Who's talking about Kristen Stewart?
But, yeah, I'm just not going to mince words here. I'm not going to buy your magazine. I don't care.
He's going hard.
Do whatever you want to do. I'm not terrified of a woman who looks bad, and she doesn't care that I think she looks bad.
I'm not scared of her. I'm not scared. What, you guys think I'm scared? Who said I'm scared? Hey, Jamie, Anybody say no way, Jamie's Joe Rogan's guy. I get them confused sometimes. I forget who his guy is. His little his computer whore. I forget who his computer whore is.
Bad. She probably doesn't care for my opinions.
Look it up whore.
She probably thinks I look bad. She's gay. She can say that if she wants. That's fine.
What?
The point I'll bring up.
Oh, so if she weren't gay, then it wouldn't be fine. Okay.
What I don't understand about Rolling Stone or whatever, and I guess I do understand, but why do you have to look like a drug addict to be a queer icon or whatever?
She doesn't look like a drug
sincerely,
addict.
I mean, you take a
like, if anything, she looks a little sleep deprived, maybe. But then again, who doesn't? Tim Pool looks sleep deprived. Like, Tim Pool looks more like a drug addict than she does. Dog, you look like you belong like outside of a abandoned building. You know, like, what are you talking about? Get some drip.
Look at the older photos of Kristen Stewart.
Get rid of the hat.
I mean, obviously, she was gay back then, right?
Embrace bald.
She was gay then, and she's gay now. She didn't just become gay. But what about that made her decide to, I don't know, not clean her face and hair? No, seriously.
By the way, sometimes you do just like decide that, like, you know, I don't want to say that you like choose to be gay. Don't get me wrong. But sometimes you just have been holding back feelings for a long time and then you come out. You know, that's called being a closeted gay person. Or maybe you just don't know yet, you know? All kinds of things can happen. You can also be socially influenced a little bit, to some extent. Sure, I'll accept that. I'll bite that bullet. But, like, it doesn't matter. None of it matters, okay? Because being gay is fine. The only reason that he's tearing into her right now is because they're calling her gay. It's the only reason. It's just homophobia. That's all it is.
The photos of her.
And
look,
misogyny.
I'm going to be kind of a dick on this one.
Flavor.
But look, I don't care.
He looks
to
like
get
the
into
dealer.
a spat with any celebrities or
I think that's
whatever.
giving him too much
the
credit.
woke are going to scream and cry. That's fine. You do whatever you want. I'm going to say it plainly.
I'm screaming and crying and shitting, actually. And shitting.
Bluntly. Okay? Kristen
I just
Stewart
think it's
before
silly.
looked like she took care of herself. She wore makeup.
Before she caught the gay.
Not a big fan of makeup, but that's fine. Her face was clean.
Oh, sure you're not,
And
buddy.
she did her hair up and things like that. Kristen Stewart in the Rolling Stone magazine looks like...
Imagine spending 2 hours doing your makeup for a date just for the guy to be like, oh, I'm not a big fan. Yeah, you know, I'm not a big fan of makeup. You know, it's just like, it's not for me. Like, that's not attractive, man. People don't put on makeup for you. They put it on for themselves.
She just rolled out of bed and threw on some, I don't know, like Goodwill thrift store clothes.
That's not
It
wrong.
looks like she looks homeless. You know, for me...
Again, it's just ironic. It's just ironic, that's all.
It strikes a little bit close to home, because I'll tell you.
It does look thrift
The way
story, but
her
who
hair
cares?
looks greasy
like,
and
most
dirty,
of my
her
clothes
face,
anymore come from the thrift store.
It really does remind me of friends that I've had who, when they became drug addicts, let themselves go. I'm not saying she's a drug addict.
So you're saying this is an emotional and traumatic response then from you, Tim? I don't know. I just thought that, like, from a facts and logic guy, that wouldn't be the direction to go.
To me, in my experience in my life, what they show of...
Yeah, she has a full face of makeup on for the shoot. Like, she's got eyeliner and shit. Even I can see it, all right? If I can see the makeup, then anybody should be able to see it.
her, I'm like, yeah, that looks like a friend of mine, a couple friends that I'd known throughout my life, and many of you probably know the same thing. They went from wearing, like, clean...
Also, have you ever considered that this is a photo shoot and she's supposed to look a little disheveled? Have you considered that this is on purpose, that this might be art? You know, like, has anybody ever actually considered that? Like, she's clearly dressed up messily on purpose. She doesn't present herself in public like this. And even if she did, who gives a shit? All right, she's dressed. She's covering the bits. Who cares? Like, I just don't give a shit.
clothes, and they would clean their hair and they would dry it. And even the guys. And then once started getting into drugs, they got thin and gaunt. They stopped taking care of themselves, and then they looked greasy. They just didn't care anymore.
Well, sure.
Maybe the
But to
reality
be fair, you're also thin and gaunt, man. Like, let's be real.
is for someone like Kristen Stewart, she doesn't care anymore. Okay, that's fine. And maybe that a component of
What do you mean she doesn't care? This was a shoot. This was so clearly a photo shoot.
why people look disheveled after starting drugs is because it's not the drugs, it's they don't care anymore. But let me read the story for you, and then I want to
wasn't showing
show
anything.
photos
It
and
was like wearing a thong, basically. Not a thong. It's like wearing a swimsuit.
talk about the issue of far left and attractiveness and the right and attractiveness, because it is a scientific
Tim
fact.
does look worse than she
and
does.
the left can cry about this all day and night. Conservatives tend to be more attractive. More attractive people tend to be conservative. Whatever the correlation may be, it's there.
Wait, who says this?
Because it is a scientific fact. And the left can cry about this all day and night. Conservatives tend to be more attractive. More attractive people tend to be conservative.
According to what study, man? I'm more attractive than you are, so that's kind of odd.
Whatever the correlation may be, it's there.
How,
Rolling
what
Stone,
study?
right.
Wait, does he source that? Of course not. Why would I think he would source that?
It's ever
That's
since
so
2012, when
subjective.
Trump wrote a string of tweets about how Robert Pattinson should dump her, Kristen Stewart has occupied.
Yeah, the stats do say that women don't want to date conservative men. That's a great point, Zumi dear. The stats say that women are not dating conservative men. Well, I'm sure if you're a conservative woman, you're more likely to date a conservative man. But like conservative men are miserable husks, dude. Like they don't provide anything except for misery. Maybe some money, but it's not worth it for the misery that you get on top of that. Find a good man who can give you money. You know what I mean? Not like Tim Pool.
Curious space in the conservative imagination. She hasn't. Most people don't, as Rolling Stone even pointed out.
Clearly, he's demonstrating
most people
this.
don't even know what movies she's been in. It was being reminded of those comments as she
Including
revealed,
you, apparently,
as she's
but you
revealed in
care enough
Rolling
about
Stone's
this.
March cover story that inspired Stewart to come out as gay in an SNL monologue 5 years later, shedding once and for all the waif-like image thrust upon her by the Twilight Saga, the vampire romance movies
waif.
everybody knows about, blah, blah. Okay, so here we have this.
Jesus Christ.
This is, I don't know what YouTube's rules are on showing a Rolling Stone cover.
Yeah, that's pretty... That one was pretty blatant. But he's getting away with it, so clearly it's fine for me.
But she's wearing what looks like a pleather vest. Not leather, it looks fake.
By the way, if it's not fine for me, I'm going to, like, if they try to demonetize me for this shit, I'm going to report his video too.
With weights behind her. And she's sticking her hand in a jock strap.
Yeah, that's pretty,
It looks... She looks like a drug addict.
But it's a cover! She didn't decide that pose. Okay? She didn't decide the makeup or the attire. It's a cover. She agreed to it, but it's an artistic cover. It's a photo shoot. Like, are you stupid? Do you not know how photo shoots work? Yeah, she looks disheveled. She looks sultry. You're right. That's the point. That's kind of the whole point, man.
I mean that.
Yeah, drug addicts only wear jock straps.
I don't know
Another
how
great
else
point.
to describe what I see when I see this. Greasy hair, ill-kempt, strange
It's a shoot.
haircut style. Look,
It's
the people that I
his
knew that
photo
started doing
shoot.
drugs didn't go and buy haircuts anymore. The men and women that I knew that were taking care of themselves, guys, obviously, they go and they spend $10, they get a trim, right? The women that I knew were spending like a...
No, you and I both know that if we were drug addicts, we would not be going in for a trim, man. The whole thing's coming off. Whatever little bits are there. You and me are in that bed together, brother.
100 or more, and probably way more than that. And they had like dedicated stylists. And friends of mine were actual stylists and rented chairs at salons and had clients and all that stuff. And it's wild. Women know better than I do. That's what they do. The people that I knew who got into drugs just stopped caring, and they would take scissors and go whoosh to their hair and be like, my hair's too long. Or they would, honestly, they'd be like, can you cut my hair? It's too long.
But have you considered that, like, the point of the shoot may have been to make her look like kind of a drug addict, you know? Like, maybe that was the point. Yeah, she looks disheveled. What of it? It's an I stress this. It's an artistic shoot. So if he's just going to babble the entire time about how ugly she looks, like, get mad at the people who did the shoot, not her. Here, let's look. Let's look how she presents herself, like, in public, shall we? Kristen Stewart. God damn, ma'am. Holy shit. See, she don't look like no drug addict there. God damn, ma'am. She slays, dude. Holy shit, she slays. Christ almighty. Look at this one. This one's probably a little older if I had to guess, but holy shit. Look at that one. That's beautiful. But yeah, look at that. Slaying, dude. Absolutely slaying. Ain't no drug addicts here. Just a photo shoot, man. Get over it.
It was kind of sad. They say the
Why?
visibility of celebrities like Stewart
Why is it
and
sad?
lesser-known LGBTQ individuals has been interpreted by far-right agitators as evidence that young people are being groomed. Whatever. I don't know. I don't have anything to say about that. I think they're just promoting someone who looks greasy.
Wait, you have said things about that, though. You would agree with those same conservatives if they said that.
I really don't
defend
know what
them.
else to say. I think the only thing I can say about this is I don't know that this has anything to do with grooming. I think she just looks like she doesn't care anymore. It's kind of depressing that she gave up. Christopher Rufo, primary architect of the astroturfed conservative panic over
She
critical
gave
race
up at
theory
the
in
photo
schools,
shoot.
and avowed enemy of DEI.
She agreed to the photo shoot, and that's when she knew. That was the moment she knew that her life was over. She gave up. She showed up to the photo shoot looking like a drug addict. That's the narrative, right? That's the story that he's painting for us.
Had an initially
It's over.
rabid
It's
take on
over.
the images of Stewart.
This is how
He
I
argued
know.
that queerness is an ideology.
I agreed to this photo shoot.
Is an ideology and appears to make people miserable. In the same post, he purposefully dead-named actor Elliot Page, a trans man, claiming media depictions of him and Stewart are intended to demoralize. I don't know about that.
In the same post, he purposefully dead-named the actor Elliot Page, a trans man. Who said this? Christopher Rufo. I've heard of that guy. Claiming media depictions of him and Stewart are intended to demoralize.
Him and Stewart are intended to demoralize. I don't know.
Queer is an ideology, not a sexuality, and it appears to make people miserable. They put dismal pictures of Ellen Page or Kristen Stewart under headlines with words like joy, family, happiness, propaganda that intends to demoralize. Well, you have no evidence to show that it makes people miserable, except like a few screenshots of people who look miserable and happen to be gay. Wow, what a revelation that gay people can be sad sometimes, and you can find pictures of gay people being sad sometimes. Like, that doesn't mean that being gay makes you sad or being trans makes you sad. That just means that you found a picture of a gay or trans person who's currently sad, like a human. Like, why do we hold trans and gay people up to such this high standard where they're not allowed to commit any crimes, they're not allowed to be ever sad or depressed or anything, that they're not allowed to have any kind of like sorrows or tribulations or strife? They're not allowed. They're not allowed, because if you do, all that means is that being gay didn't fix you. It didn't fix you to come out. It didn't fix you to be trans, right? Of course it didn't, because you were always trans. It's not being trans or gay that broke you. What broke you, if you're broken, is society. That's what broke you, all right?
About that, I don't know about that. Like, I'm quite literally saying, like, I don't know. What I've heard is that the general idea with Kristen Stewart looking disheveled and greasy is a rejection of beauty norms.
I'm playing the tiniest violin. Nice.
Right. Now, in my view, it sounds like you don't care anymore. Do you agree? If you do, then we have no argument. I don't think...
married hetero couples with children are some of the saddest people I've ever met. They treat parenting like it's a death sentence. Like, oh, my life is over now. Hey, you just got hitched, didn't you? Guess your life's over now, buddy, right? Which in our current society, unfortunately, that's true in many ways, right? It's true in many ways. But I see a future where that's not true, where you can have kids and still be happy, all right? Yeah, the ball and chain, right? You should give up some of your freedoms for your kids. I'm not saying that. You will always have to do that. But that should be a trade-off that you're making to improve your own life. Your children should make you happy too, okay? Your life does not have to be miserable just because you have kids. And if you think that having kids is going to make your life miserable, then don't have kids. Don't have them. Why would you have them? They're going to make you miserable. Don't, okay? And that's going to make them miserable by default, because they're going to know, they're going to feed off of that information that you're feeding them, that they make you miserable. Why would you do that to your kids? Don't. Again, conservatives just hate kids. They just hate kids.
Kristen Stewart cares anymore. She looks greasy, and her hair looks like she doesn't take...
She doesn't look greasy here. She looks like a greaser. She looks like a greaser from like a 70s or 80s movie, but that's hot as shit. She looks hot as shit here. She is slaying like a better than you ever could. At least I got close. At least I got close in my heyday, man, of, a year and a half ago. I'll get close again, guys.
Take care of it at all. Kaya Rychik, who, lives of TikTok.
You could never.
Wrote disgusting in response to
He's just jealous, man.
Uh-huh. And, look, I mean, her hair is greasy. And
yeah, right here. Okay, yes, it is true that right here she looks a little weird, okay? She looks like she's slumped. She looks like she's kind of disheveled, but that's the appeal. That's the art. Oh, beautiful. Oh, it's so good to pizza. It's so good to pizza pie, okay? Why don't you have a taste, man? Maybe that's the problem. He hasn't tasted a good pizza pie in a while, if you catch my drift.
It's cut strangely.
A spicy meatball. Try
I gotta
one.
Be honest, it looks like her haircut was just cut by a friend.
Get a taste.
And it doesn't, not trying to style it in any way. Not trying to look good. Ian Miles Chong said, what did Hollywood do to Kristen Stewart? I don't know that Hollywood did anything.
What did Hollywood do to Kristen Stewart? I don't know. What did it do? Apparently it did something.
Hollywood do to Kristen Stewart? I don't know that Hollywood did anything.
It's fine. She looks fine.
I think she just doesn't care. Look.
Is she gay?
I really do mean this
who
when I say,
cares?
like, I've had friends who fall into drug abuse, and it's sad. And
they're just doing this because she came out as gay or lesbian or whatever, or bisexual. I don't know what she is. I don't care. It doesn't matter to me. It's inconsequential to my life. It's not like I have a chance with Kristen Stewart. Oh, Kirsten, whatever. Kirsten Stewart. Is it Kristen? I think it's Kristen. They just misspelled it. But like, oh yeah, no, like I'm just upset that Kristen Stewart's a lesbian now and I can't fantasize about wooing her and sweeping her off her feet. Like you do, right, man? Like you do.
Hollywood didn't
like you
make
totally
them do
would
it.
be able to do.
And
you would pull that off,
didn't
man.
make them have greasy mullets. It was that they didn't
Who
care
cares?
anymore. They didn't care to look good for anybody else. The only thing they needed was that next hit. I am not saying Kristen Stewart is a drug addict. I'm saying there is a similarity between I just don't care anymore at all how I look and...
Okay, kids, line up. I got the woke powder. Oh, that's good. Oh, I'm feeling woke.
Whatever is going on with Rolling Stone and trying to
My
show
hair's
that,
turning blue.
that's totally fine.
Oh,
I don't care at all
I'm
that Rolling
50
Stone does that.
times
You know
more
why?
gay now.
I firmly believe Rolling Stone can present this in any way they want, and the end result is that the average person will find it not attractive.
Non-binary vibes.
So by all means, talk about the great queerness of Kristen Stewart and whatever you want to say, and the average person will see
My pronouns are changing at a million miles a minute. It's cycling through. Z-zer. Oh man, now it's star self. Wait, no, we're back to he, him, but also she, her, but not they, them. If you say they, them, then I'll murder you. Like, this is so goofy.
someone who is greasy and unkempt.
That's how my hair turned blue.
The reason
Nice.
why humans have aversions,
Too much woke powder.
not all humans, but most, to like someone who looks
Give me the
dirty,
good shit.
is that, back in the day, if you were dirty, you have disease. You weren't cleaning, and that was a problem. It's funny that humans didn't really understand the
Okay, I'm gonna be real. I like it when my girl's got a little grime. You know what I mean? Like, just a little bit of living on her. You know what I mean? A little bit of life, a little bit of nature. You know? It's nice. It's nice, it's human. I like that, okay? I like the natural scent a little bit. I like the natural wear and tear of the day on my girl. It tells me that she's alive. It tells me she has a beating heart, unlike those Barbies that you probably jerk off to, man. Like, what happened to the real men? Like, come on, you can't handle a little dirt, a little grease? What's wrong with you? Shut up.
the concept of washing your hands until like 1900 and something. There was a doctor who was like, maybe women will stop dying
I like
in
a little
childbirth if we
war-torn
wash our
girl,
hands off.
okay?
And then the doctor's like, what are you talking about?
Why not?
Today it's kind of like, duh. I also wonder about the doctors in the Civil War who could have just taken a bottle of rum or whiskey and splashed it over the wound, and the guy probably would have kept his leg. Now, far be it from me. I mean, it's antiseptic, but I don't know. I'm not a doctor. The point is, even though we didn't
I mean, yeah, it would be better than nothing, sure, but why do we get on this?
really understand the general idea of disgust, why we throw up when we see corpses or maggots or
Oh no, don't go there, man. Oh no. This is gonna get wild.
feces, is because it's a response. If you ingest these things, you could die. So humans this is evolution.
This is evolution. This is all evolution. I'm not a eugenicist, guys. I'm not a eugenicist. I'm just saying this is just natural. All of what I'm saying is about to be totally fine and cool and natural.
As humans are evolving, there are some humans that barf when they see things that are gross and some that don't. The ones that do are more likely not to be ingesting things that are toxic, poisonous, or whatever. And they're less likely to die of disease or like sepsis or something.
Come on.
And those who didn't care about it were probably less likely to succeed. This means that right now, we know this. Let me see. We'll jump to that one in a second. Here we go. Swan dating. Are right-wing people more attractive? A recent Danish study used machine learning to predict the political bias.
So without saying it, he basically just said that Kristen Stewart gives him the heebie-jeebies to the point that he wants to throw up as though he's seeing shit or vomit. F you, man. That's disgusting. That's a real human being you're talking about. That's a whole ass person. That's a whole ass person right there. How dare you? What if I said that about you? What if I said that about your wife or your mom? Oh, you don't have a wife, do you? Dim Tool's single, isn't he? Right. Well, I have a wife coming up here. Okay. I got a date where I'm getting married. So I don't know where Dim Tool's at. Maybe if he were a little more like me, he'd get a bitch.
Of 3,323 people.
Maybe if he weren't so uptight about a little bit of grease on his ladies, you know what I mean? Oh, sorry, she's got like a little stank from work. She got a little pit stank from when she was working at her job. Okay, what of it? What of it? Okay, I still go down. Who cares?
Based only on analysis of their faces. Its accuracy was 61%, a good amount better than chance. What's more, it found that good-looking faces were more likely to belong to right-wing candidates, adding to an increase.
Hold on. Are right-wing people more attractive? I have got to see where this study comes from. Swan. Dating for humans. No more swiping. No more boring profiles. Swan dating. Twitter. Making dating better. Research about love, chemistry, biology, and more. Simply learning to flirt can revolutionize your romantic prospects. An exceptionally happy Valentine's Day to all of our wonderful followers, blah, blah, blah. It was a lovely experience, far better. Girl, they did. Wait, what? They should make a dating app for people who lament the commodification of the self and the transactional nature. Oh, God. Is this a leftist? But also fear they may never experience romantic love and don't know how to meet people organically. Dude, that's so lame, though. Here's a review. I recently discovered this dating experience through Instagram and had my first date. Although it wasn't a perfect match, there was enough there that was correct that I had a really enjoyable time. The removal of awkward matching, texting, chatting, and made the experience feel completely painless. And however they do it, the person they matched me with was actually a great fit in many ways. Price was worth it. Yeah, it's just like, I don't know, this seems so robotic. They're like, oh, thank God we could skip the awkward talking phase, right? Oh, thank God we could skip the awkward getting to know each other part of this entire discussion, right? Oh, yeah, no, it's good. It's great. It's great. We don't even talk to each other. What? What's talking? What? What do you mean talking? No, none of that. Use machine learning to predict the political bias of 3,323 people based on only analysis of their faces. Its accuracy was 61%, a good amount better than chance. 61% accuracy? Wait, what does that even mean? What does that mean? Wait, what does that mean? 61% accuracy for what? For whether or not they... Using deep learning to predict ideology from facial photographs, expressions, beauty, and extra facial information. This seems psychotic. We combine convolutional neural networks, heat maps, facial expression coding, and classification of identifiable features such as masculinity and attractiveness in our study of political ideology in 3,323 Danes. Predictive accuracy from the neural network was 61% in each gender. Okay? Wait, predictive accuracy from the neural network? Predictive accuracy for what? It's saying that, like, the machine would predict who the most attractive one was, and it only got 61% correct. That's kind of shit. That's actually kind of shit. Like, statistically speaking, that doesn't mean anything. You could have just gotten randomly lucky. Model predicted ideology correlated with aspects of both facial expression, happiness versus neutrality, and morphology. Uh-oh. Heat maps highlighted the... Oh, God. No, this just straight up just seems like some eugenic shit. Why the can people just not find what they find attractive? Why does it got to be, oh, conservatives are the more attractive ones. Oh, the liberals are the more... Who cares? Just go people. Just go the people that you like. You know, we all like different things. Go the ones that you like. Who cares? Who gives a shit? It's
Their
so
faces.
stupid.
Its
Who
accuracy
cares?
was 61%.
No, guys, I swear that I'm attractive. Let me point to a study that shows you guys why I'm attractive. It's pathetic.
Better than chance. What's more, it found that good-looking faces were more likely to belong to right-wing candidates, adding to an increasingly substantial literature that finds conservative
Alec,
people more attractive.
Thank you.
They go on to mention several more studies that find this. Now, there's a lot to break down here, but
61% means that actually 39% of the time it'd be wrong, NB pal. And that can be explained by random chance, okay? There is enough of a uncertainty factor there that I don't believe that. Like, I'm sure that, like, okay, let me grant them this. There is a conventionally attractive standard. We all agree on that, right? Like, obviously, if you have a woman who's 300 pounds and 5'6", and you have a woman who's 5'6" and 140 pounds, the vast majority of people are going to say that the 140-pound woman looks more pretty. Okay, that's just a fact of life, for right now at least, and that's largely due to social influence and all these other factors, etc. But that's the fact, right? That's the fact of the matter. So yes, there is going to be a slight lean in that direction because the machine can only predict who is the more attractive one based on human input. So humans who are subjective in nature had to say, yeah, this person is more attractive. You have to predict that this person will be more attractive. Like, there's still a conflicting factor there. Like, you're still having just arbitrary humans like decide which traits are the more attractive ones. You know, when that changes with time and with society. So the study doesn't mean anything. It's not like a good study at all.
I think it really comes down to,
it doesn't tell us anything
if
either.
You're an attractive person, life's probably easier for you. Thus, you'll think to yourself, if I could do it, why don't you? If you're ugly, you're probably going to be a collectivist because people are not as nice to you.
That does exist.
You might be a bit more bitter of a person. The trope
but
is
that's not true. No, but that's not true at all. Did they conclude that in the study? I don't think they do. They don't even say that in the study. Our results confirm the threat to privacy posed by deep learning approaches. Wait, that's what the study was for? Using a pre-developed and readily available network that was trained and validated exclusively on publicly available data. We're able to predict. Okay, so it was trained on data. We were able to predict the ideology of the pictured person roughly 60% of the time in 2 samples. We also found the existing practice in which non-facial information is typically included in the small boxes surrounding a face. We also provided the first demonstration that model-predicted ideology connects to independently classifiable features of the face. Okay, but it doesn't mean anything. There's no reason to study this. High attractiveness scores were found among those the model identified as likely to be conservative. These results are credible given that previous research using human raters has also highlighted a link between attractiveness and conservatism. Recall that we used photographs provided by the candidates themselves, blah, blah, blah. Because attractiveness generally helps electoral success, All candidates are incentivized to provide an attractive photograph. But that's subjective. That's entirely subjective. A photograph that you like for yourself, you might like it for different reasons other than you look attractive. Maybe you just think you looked good. You know, maybe not attractive, but you look good. You know, it's a good picture that you like. That only makes this worse, not better. Further, the amateur nature of these candidates is a strength because the photos represent candidates for office. Oh yeah, amateur nature. This is such a legit study, dude. Attractiveness is not the only correlate model of predicted ideology. Expressing happiness is associated with conservatism for both genders. What? Oh, I see. So like people were more likely to provide photos of themselves smiling if they were conservative. Well, yeah, because like smiling isn't always the most attractive thing to do in a picture. Like, what if I want to look sultry? What if I want to look, like something else? All this is telling me is that leftists know how to take pictures better without needing to smile, which is true, by the way. Conservatives always have that plastic fucking smile on their face when they take pictures. Try something different for once. Smiling's fine, but try something different. The use of a politician sample represents a potential constraint on generality. The use of candidates for local office in Denmark attenuate this constraint, blah, blah, blah. Further work might explore why our heat map show... Yeah, so like, while the relevance of these regions to identify things such as whether a face is happy may seem straightforward, happiness correlated with model predicted ideology. So, no, that's not it at all. No, they provided their own pictures. You didn't ask them about their happiness. You just made that assumption based upon the pictures they provided you in which they weren't smiling. What? This is such a bunk study. This is such a bunk study. There's no credibility here. Nothing. This is such a nothing study. I would throw this in the trash if you presented this to me. Like, oh, we got the results. Oh, of what? How attractive people are based upon, whether or not they're Democrat or Republican. What? Why would I ever care about that? Oh, yeah, we also found out that the people giving us the pictures where they're smiling, we said that those are happy people. We said that the ones where they're smiling are happy people. And then we said the ones where they're not smiling are not happy people. And as it turns out, we got more not smiling pictures from leftists than we got for not smiling pictures from conservatives. So we think that the leftists are the not happy people. What? Come again? Tell me how that makes one bit of sense, actually. This is the worst study I've ever seen.
That you go to the
fact
RNC
that Tim
and you
Pool
see a
can
lot
glean
of
anything from this only speaks to how stupid he is.
tall men and a lot of busty women. And you go to the DNC, you see a lot of short men and fat women. And I'm not trying to be a dick.
Oh my God.
It's true. They get so mad about this.
But you could see. Duh, you could see. Okay, ask them how happy they are. I don't give a shit how they look. They can look however they want. It's their life. Ask them how happy they are. I guarantee you that those conservative women are miserable husks.
The last time I did a segment on this, the Young Turks were like, Tim Pool's ugly, though. I don't care if you think I'm ugly. I don't care if you think a ton of MAGA chuds are ugly, as you'd call them.
You clearly do care, though. Otherwise, you wouldn't be going over this study. I don't care. I have never looked into this at all. And yet you have, Tim Pool, so you at least care more than I do.
Average, conservatives tend to be more attractive. I mean, case in point,
no, that's not
conservatives
a win. 61%
tend to be
is
about
garbage.
getting in shape and eating healthy relative to Democrats who are about being fat and being happy about it. It's just plainly
Who cares?
obvious. And there's reasons why.
You're just upsetty spaghetti because you think fat people are yucky, okay? You just think they're yucky. That's all it is. You think fat people are yucky.
Not everybody, the majority of people do not find obesity attractive. I don't care that Kristen Stewart wants to look the way she wants to look. I don't care that Rolling Stone does it, and I don't fear it in any way. I can't speak for anyone else.
And yet here you are talking about it, so you fear it.
Fair.
Wait, that's a great photo. We just looked at that. She's slaying. She's slaying, dude. She's serving so much cunt right here. This is amazing.
From this photo, I believe, is from like a year or so ago. And yes, she looks greasy, like she doesn't take care of herself. Her hair.
No, her hair's very purposefully messy. This is all on purpose. Yeah, it's messy, but it's still got form to it. It's got volume. It looks great. Maybe if you had hair, you'd understand. I used to have hair, and I would try to give it volume, just like this, all right? But you must have been born bald and just been bald all the way up until now. Like, what are you talking about?
Looks like she never just doesn't care anymore.
This is a baddie look as fuck.
That's fine. She doesn't have to do anything for me or look any way she doesn't want to look.
Apparently she does.
I have no issue with it whatsoever.
Nothing you're saying correlates with anything else that you're saying, man. Because you can't act like you don't care about this and then make an entire segment on it. The only reason I care about what you're saying is because it's good entertainment.
But in my opinion, when you look at Kristen Stewart now, it's like she's let herself go. That's totally fine. Let me pull up some other photos. This one's from 2016.
That's also amazing.
Despite the fact that she has a similar haircut, her hair looks clean and taken care of.
It looks clean in the other one, too.
I don't care about the makeup stuff, but she doesn't look greasy.
Also, your hair should be a little bit greasy. Just so you know. Like, it should have a little bit of grease in it. Otherwise, it gets dry and crusty. Like, you don't want dry, crusty hair. I used to never put conditioner in my hair, and it was always, like, super dry. And then I put conditioner in it once, and Katie's like before I was bald. And she's like, oh my God, your hair's so soft. And I'm like, huh? She's like, yeah, what'd you do with it? I'm like, I put conditioner in. She's like, you don't condition your hair? Like, it's like, you're supposed to condition it. It's supposed to glow.
Like somebody who wakes up, doesn't shower. Right. Now, if you're into that, and you can be.
By the way, you're only supposed to shower like once every 2 or 3 days.
It's totally fine.
You're supposed to let the natural oils
I don't think Kristen Stewart has to
build up
do
a
anything to
little bit.
prove herself to anybody. But I think it's fair to point out that a lot of the criticism you see people saying disgusting about it is because she looks like, well, it looks, she looks like a drug addict. I mean, I feel bad saying it.
Exactly.
I'm not saying
sweet
she's a drug
blasphemy.
addict. I'm saying,
yeah, great point. This picture is also photoshopped to hell and back. Like, they probably brought in the neck. Like, you can see her collarbones have been like, it almost looks like her collarbones have just been completely edited out. Like, it's really soft right here. Like, I don't know. Like, it just looks photoshopped. She looks great,
I'll say
but
it again,
looks
like,
photoshopped.
I grew up in
There's no
Chicago,
definition.
lived in LA for a little bit, lived in Seattle. I knew people. You know, I had a friend in Chicago. You look at the pictures from high school. It looks like this. And then after high school, fell into drugs, heroin, and then every day just like sunken cheeks, greasy face,
That's
messy
fine
hair
to
that
me,
was
dear.
not washed or cleaned. And I'm like, man, that breaks my heart to see this. Like,
Why?
what happened? You used to take care of yourself.
This concern trolling is such dog shit, man. Why are you concerned? You're not concerned for her. Stop acting concerned. Oh, I'm just concerned. No, you're not. You just think she's ugly. Just say she's ugly. Just say she's ugly. Just say it, because that's what this whole thing's about. Just say that she's ugly. Okay? You want to call her a drug addict? Fine. You want to say that she's homeless? Fine. Fine. You can say that she looks like those things, but at least say it. Stop acting like you're concerned for her. It's disgusting. You're just a pussy.
It sucks.
And it's not a heroin look. Yeah.
So this is from an article. This is from 2016, and there's a bunch of other photos. This
Here's
is from
Stewart, the
2023.
good bad girl.
I mean, look, once again, I'm sorry. Like the hair, Kristen's hair is greasy.
Oh, Kristen.
I'll say it again.
forgetting.
Look, you can look how.
Okay, yeah, it looks greasy here, but it's very clearly on purpose still. Like, she looks well dressed, okay? And also, I think it's a great look. I think she looks like tomboyish. What? It's cute. It's cute. That's exactly the kind of look that I love on a girl, okay? Tomboyish. It's a great look.
However you want to look, man. Stoner girl comedy. She's writing a stoner girl comedy. That's great, man. I wish you the best. Maybe
great
the
look.
people that you've, shifted toward.
It looks like she just got done playing a game of football with her buds. You know what I mean? Like, it's an aesthetic choice, and it looks great.
Will support you, and I hope you succeed. I hope there are many
No, you
people who
don't.
find you
No, you
attractive and
don't.
you live the life you want to live, and then nobody tells you what for. How about that?
No, you don't.
In
You
my
don't give a shit
opinion,
about her, except to shit on her, and that's it.
My life,
Yeah,
which
almost like a real
again I say,
person.
has no bearing on yours or anybody who enjoys what
Stop with all this prefacing. You're such a pussy. Stop it.
There are guys who like fat chicks.
Get
I
some
remember
help,
when Jordan
man.
Peterson was ragging on this fat chick on a cover, and I was like, hey, look, let the fat chicks have their day. Some people like fat chicks. I'm just saying, like, there's going to be a lot of people who are like, that's gross. What we end up seeing.
Listen, I just want to say also, I've railed a fat chick before, okay? So love to my fat chicks, okay? Like, there's nothing wrong with you. Some people will find you attractive and some won't. You're just like anybody else, okay? You should try to take care of yourself. You should try to work out. You should try to eat healthy. But if you're fat, fuck it. Whatever. I'm
stuff
fat
like
right now.
this.
Who cares?
From them.us. Why is no one in the DMs? Dylan Mulvaney discussed dating as a trans woman. The TikTok star is, quote, somebody who should not be single. Look, man,
Goddamn.
I don't know what to tell you, okay? I saw this post, and it said
I mean, honestly, a little skinny for my taste, but, it's not bad.
something like incel-dumb is a choice. And it was a picture
What?
of this dude who was like, he's kind of ugly. Except he was jacked. He's like, I started exercising and everything changed for me. Because
I think that was like that Armstrong-looking guy, Senator Armstrong.
it really is for guys about like improvement and things like that. And for women, they can certainly do things to make themselves more or less attractive.
Sure.
Some women are just naturally
Subjectively.
not that good looking. And that's a challenge.
Yeah, but by what metric? Because, like, Katie's facial structure next to, like, Tina 2's facial structure, if you know Tina 2, I talk about her a lot. I'm trying to shill her channel, if you couldn't tell. I think she deserves more views than she gets. But Tina 2, next to Katie's face, both of those girls are absolutely drop-dead gorgeous, in my opinion. And you know what? They couldn't look less alike. Okay, here, I'll show you. I'll pull up pictures. We'll pull up pictures. There's a great one of Katie. So there's Katie, right? And then let me get Tina 2. Completely different facial structures. Like the nose is entirely different. The eyes are different. You know, her hair's long, Katie's is short. You know, like, but it's all good. It's all fantastic. They both look great, okay? They both look so great, and Tina looks gorgeous, and Katie looks cute as fuck. And I love both of them, okay? And this is entirely subjective. I prefer the way Katie looks for my personal relationships. But I can also recognize Tina is drop dead gorgeous, okay? So it's entirely subjective is my point. Where's her beanie? Fair enough.
Too. I mean, it's a reality. I'm not
Tina,
trying to
get a
be mean
beanie.
here. For guys, you can be an ugly guy, but you improve yourself, get in shape, study hard, and become the best of the best in the areas you can, and you'll find love.
That's fine. I agree with that. Well, and you won't necessarily find love just by doing that. You actually have to be good at socializing as well. All right, treat women like they're people, and then you'll have a lot better shot.
Let's talk about Dylan Mulvaney. I do not like Dylan Mulvaney. I believe Dylan Mulvaney is a liar. I don't believe that Dylan Mulvaney is actually trans. I believe that Dylan Mulvaney puts on this trans face to mock women and trans people because it gets internet clicks.
No. See, you're concern trolling again. This is well-veiled concern trolling. You don't give a shit about trans people. You don't care about their plight. You think they're groomers. What are you talking about, Tim? You don't care. This is stupid.
The famous
shut up, go away.
Hiking heels in the woods video.
Don't
Dylan
speak
Mulvaney
for trans
produced.
people.
Look,
you barely like them.
We have friends of the show who are transgender. Okay.
Oh,
they don't
sure.
put on heels and go run to the forest going.
What if they want to? What if a woman does that? You would never criticize a woman for wearing something like this.
That's like someone's trying to make fun
cis women. I apologize. Cis women.
of them and insult them. Women also don't do this. Dylan Mulvaney had a video where it was like, now that I'm a woman, I'm going to cry for no reason, go shopping and buy things I can't afford. And it was like, you're just insulting women. Well, let's talk about Dylan Mulvaney dating. I don't care what Dylan Mulvaney does, but I'm sorry. A masculine plastic mannequin face.
What?
Look,
she looks fine. Yeah, it's got a lot of makeup on it, but she looks fine.
Dylan, in this interview, says they're struggling to date. Okay, well, I don't know the life or dating history of Dylan Mulvaney, nor do I care to investigate. But upon this story going viral...
Oh, I'm sure you don't. I'm sure you don't. Just like Matt Walsh.
...made the point. Perhaps it's because you look unattractive. You look like you're made of plastic. You're a manly, effeminate individual.
I disagree. Like, okay, her square's a little bit more jaw than a lot of women's, but who cares?
Masculine features with a...
Did I say her square's a little more jaw? I mean, her jaw's a little more square.
Tall, wide shoulders and slim hips.
Sorry, I'm getting a little
tall,
tired.
slender, and lanky body. With a strange vocal intonation. And when I mean strange, I don't mean that in a condescending way. I mean atypical. Let me do this.
I'm not condescending you. I promise you. I'm not condescending you. I promise you. I'm not condescending you. I promise you.
Date, which I actually don't know what it is. It's like a dating website.
But
if they're highlighting this Danish study. I was reminded of The Science of Sex.
It's such a stupid
which is this
study.
Documentary I saw. Like
so
it's really old, like
stupid.
20 years old, probably. You can take a picture of a
burger.
human being and show it to another human being anywhere in the world. And they will tell you whether or not they think the person is beautiful.
Sure.
And there is an average standard based upon human perception as to what is attractive and what is not.
Okay, when you say somebody's beautiful, I can think that somebody's beautiful and not find them like personally attractive to me. You know what I mean? Like I wouldn't date that person, maybe, but I can still recognize the objective beauty going on there. You know what I mean? Or like not objective, it's subjective beauty, I should say. You know, you don't really have objective beauty. But like that person's going to be beautiful to somebody somewhere. So it is subjective, you know? Maybe I don't find the person personally beautiful. I wouldn't date them, but they look nice. They look fine. They look like they present themselves well. I would be friends with them. And I'm sure there's somebody out there who would love to date them. And also, I don't think that occupies that much of a space in that person's mind anyway, you know? Like, it's such a weird thing to focus in on.
Well, okay. Some people have less than typical proclivities. And so long as they are legal, I mean, you know, and not harming somebody or minors, fine, I guess. No animals. That's weird. But like, if a guy likes, you know, if dudes are into fat chicks, it's like, yeah, do your thing, man. You know, everybody deserves love, I guess. But on average, there is an attractive face and unattractive faces.
Yeah, why? Let's dig into that. They never want to ask the question why. They're just like, well, that's just how it is. That's how it is. That's how it is. There was a time when fat people were more attractive. In fact, that's kind of coming back. You know, when it comes to like ladies with big asses, It used to actually be a joke to say that a woman has a fat ass. Okay? Your ass is fat. Oh, and these days that's a compliment. But you say that to some chick back in the 1960s, you'll get your face slapped. You know, you want a fat ass these days, but back then you want it to be skinny as bone. Okay, they were all doing like cocaine and shit because their husbands beat them. You know, that was the look. But these days you want a little more chunkiness. You want a fat ass. That's what I like. I like a fat ass.
Means for someone like Dylan Mulvaney wondering why they're not having a date, it's because the overwhelming majority of people will look at you and say you are gross. I am not trying to be mean.
You're wrong. No, you're wrong. What do you mean I'm not trying to be mean, but you're gross? What's gross about them? They got no runny nose? They got earwax built up here? They got like boogers in their eyes that are their eyes tearing up all over? No. Are they bleeding? No. You find them gross because of the way they look, because of things that they can't control about themselves, okay? And frankly, it's not that gross. You just think that it's gross because you're a pussy. What, you're gonna go up to Tim Mulvaney and say, ew, you're gross, you're yucky, ew, you're yucky, you have cooties, ew. Shut up. You're a pussy. Go away. Nobody likes you.
I'm saying they're going to say, I am disgusted by this. The same thing with Kristen Stewart in this Miss Magazine cover. You know, for me personally,
a couple of Tim fanboys corrected me about Tim being engaged when I joked about him being single because of feminism. I never verified it myself, though. I mean, I don't really care. He's spiritually single.
I feel disgust when I see the photos of Kristen Stewart. I will stress
that's because you're a pussy.
To all the leftists who are going to whinge and complain about this video or whatever.
I don't give two shits in a fuck about Dylan Mulvaney. Let the girl live her life. Oh, she wants to be a girl? Okay, great. Let her be a girl. Go be the best girl you can be. Goodbye. I think she's annoying, by the way. I think Dylan Mulvaney is really annoying, and I don't like her that much. But guess what? She has the right to be annoying, okay? She has the right to be annoying and cringe if she wants, all right? And if you think that's disgusting, I don't know what to tell you. I think you're disgusting for saying she doesn't have that right. We live in America. Let people be cringe.
You are allowed to be disgusted by me, to call me ugly, all the names.
I'm disgusted. Yeah,
that's you. You're allowed to do that because
no. I'm not disgusted by you by the way you look. I'm disgusted by the things you say. Okay, you'd be fine if you just dropped this shtick. All right, or at the very least, just be mask off about it and stop acting like you care about people because you don't. Clearly,
people have different perspectives.
You don't
and
give
opinions.
a shit about people.
I do not think I am He-Man, most attractive Chad, or anything like
Nobody
that.
Nobody cares.
Not saying that at all.
I'm not either.
I'm saying that everybody has their different views. And when I see a female...
Yeah, and some of them are wrong.
You know, like a greasy face and greasy hair, and it's some mullet.
It wasn't greasy. And all to the extent that it was, she was doing a photo shoot.
And they're wearing, like, clothes that look like they came out of a
Goodwill.
Goodwill.
The mullet slayed.
Again, I mean it factually and literally.
I'm sorry. Lesbian mullet slay. I'm sorry. But you know what? I'm not sorry. Lesbian mullet slay. If you're a lesbian, go get a mullet. You'll slay.
I'm not insulting her choice of clothes. I'm saying, like, it looks like they grabbed
Even if
stuff
you're not
off
a
the
lesbian,
rack
go get a
at a
mullet.
thrift store.
You'll slay.
It just looks... It looks gross to me. I'm entitled to my opinion. You're entitled to yours. Again, by all means, comment leftist.
Fine, you can think that, but that doesn't make Dylan Mulvaney gross, and you're saying that it does.
And say I'm gross. That's fine. I got crooked teeth. Yeah, I got no hair. Whatever.
It's got nothing to do with that.
I'm missing a tooth, actually. Genetically missing a tooth.
I think you're gross because of your views. You're allowed to exist looking like the piece of shit that you are, just not acting like it.
I'm sure that's unattractive to a lot of people.
You can look like a piece of shit all day. Just don't act like
one. For the
one.
left to write this article saying that the right is terrified of this. It's like if you wrote an article being like right-wingers are not attracted to Kristen Stewart.
No, I'm not terrified of this. I don't give a shit. This study is the dumbest study that I've ever read in my entire life. It was the most mediocre piece of dog shit. That wouldn't even pass a college course. Like, are you kidding me? That was a joke.
Nobody would care.
What a joke of a study.
You know what? Actually,
I want to know the people who did that study. I want to see the top guy who did that. Hebelstrup Rai Rasmussen. View other publications. See, only one. That is the only publication that this man has. The only thing that he cared about. Is this him? Where and why does education matter? When and why does education matter? Motivation and resource effects and political efficacy. Genetic virulence profile of enteroaggregative Escherichia coli strains isolated from Danish children with either acute or persistent diarrhea. That sounds like a legit study. Okay, but he didn't even lead this study, by the way. He was just part of it. Didn't lead this one. He did lead this one. Education or personality. Oh, this was by himself. Education or personality traits and intelligence as determinants of political knowledge. See, this guy, no. I don't believe this guy. A nationwide registry-based cohort study of incidence of tonsillectomy in Denmark, 1991 to 2012. MFH, Mary Lou. Yeah, see, he was just part of this. He didn't lead it. All the ones that he led are bullshit. Okay, dude.
Attract right-wingers. She's certainly not trying to attract me. She's gay. And I'm like, okay, I'm fine with that. But there is this phenomenon of, we know human beings have preference for what is attractive and what is not.
Yeah, based on social influence.
what they've done to a lot of these people,
among with various other factors,
they've stripped them of their general human appeal because it's a fact that exists.
But who cares?
And then bragged about it.
Give me a reason to care.
And then insulted anybody who pointed that out. I don't know. Look, periodically do these segments about conservatives being more Christians, conservatives being more attractive, and it's a fact.
No, it's not.
Maybe
no, it's not. This study doesn't prove anything. It's a shit study. I just pointed out the reasons that it's shit.
Conservatives want to be more attractive. It really comes down to that. Fat people.
Yeah, because you're cucks, okay? You know what? Fine. I'll lend it to you. You guys are more attractive. Good job. Good job. Is that what you wanted? Is that what you wanted? You know what? I know I'm attractive. I don't need somebody to tell me that. I don't give a shit. You don't think I'm attractive? Fuck you. Yeah, I am. Who cares?
People who are unattractive just want to be fat and justify it, and they make the body positivity movement. And then people on the right are constantly trying to figure out what carbs or seed oils, whatever garbage they're not supposed to be eating. I love this. Conservatives and libertarians, seed oils are the bad thing now. It's like, cut the carbs, take more protein in, all that stuff. It's like whatever this side is, we're trying to be the best we can. And the other side is saying, accept me no matter what I do.
You can be the best you can and still be fat. That's fine. Maybe you don't maybe you don't prioritize your physical health, whatever. Okay, what of it? What of it? Maybe you don't prioritize how you look. Who cares? That doesn't necessarily have to be part of being the best you that you can be. Maybe you don't give a shit about it. Maybe the person they're dating doesn't give a shit about it. Have you ever thought about that? Who cares? Once again.
It's kind of like the masculine and the feminine, Anyway, it is what it is. Whinge more, Rolling Stone. I can't speak for anybody else, but I'm certainly not
pal, I think you got that backwards. The study's trying to say that attractiveness is objective, not subjective.
Terrified of someone. I just think,
and you're right,
we're not meant for each other. Kristen Stewart certainly doesn't find me attractive, and I'm glad she doesn't have to, and she can call me whatever names. If she came out and said, I think Tim Pool is disgusting.
Okay, but I can't sit here and be like, I want to genocide the conservatives, which is, that's not a genocide. And you are allowed to say that according to YouTube, if I recall correctly. But let's say that I were to say, I want to genocide the conservatives. And then the conservatives are like, okay, well, it's fine if you say that. But now we want to say that we want to genocide the trans people. That's not an equivalent thing, first of all. And second of all, I don't want people to be okay with me saying that I want to genocide people. That's not a thing that people should be okay with me saying. Okay? So no, I reject this.
I'd say, yeah, fair point.
Yeah, she thinks about Tim not
you're
at
gay.
all.
You don't.
Good point.
I assume you don't like the way I look.
Bold of you to assume that she doesn't think you're attractive. Dog, she doesn't know who you are. I don't even know who you are.
Facial hair, whatever. And I also find your
That's
Rolling
a great
Stone
meme.
images
Somebody
to
make
be
that.
off-putting and gross. It's not personal. I mean, I guess maybe it kind of is.
Yes, it is. See?
I don't hate Rolling Stone. They can do whatever they want. I'm just gonna go buy magazines of the things I do like. Well, to be real, I'm not gonna buy a magazine, but you get the point. I'll leave it there. Next segment's coming up at...
God, that was terrible.
I don't know. The next segment will be coming up on this channel at some point. Thanks for hanging out, and I'll see you all then.
I do this so much better than Tim Pool does it. Although I will admit that I have the crutch of watching his shitty content and bouncing off of it. But I just don't know how he pulls in the views that he does. Who gives a shit about how Kristen Stewart looks, for real, man? You say that you don't care, and yet you're making an entire video on it. Yeah, see, you don't care so much, right? Kristen Stewart cover proves going woke makes people ugly. Studies prove the right is better looking. Yeah, you don't care that much, right? You have to go look up a bunk study to prove that you're the pretty one. That you're the prettiest girl, right? Okay, buddy.
Hey, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please be sure to hit the like button, subscribe if you want to see more, hit the notification bell to be notified when I upload. If you enjoy my content, you enjoy what I do, I really appreciate any financial help that I can get. Go to youtube.com/AlecGunterTTV/join. You got some awesome benefits, such as seeing early videos, awesome emotes that you can use in the comments of YouTube videos, and a sweet badge next to your name. So if that sounds interesting to you, I'd really appreciate if you join. It is cheaper than the cost of a blowjob from your mom. So with all that being said, thank you again for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video.